Howdy doody. This is Fred Asquith on Film with me, Fred Asquith. This is a film and TV sometimes discussion show where I discuss with myself and the figurative audience, you, the audience, one amorbus, or is it amoebus? Amorbus blob of an audience. And hopefully, it feels like I'm talking directly to you, and it feels like we're friends in a conversation. Just a monologous, amorbus conversation. Lots of us's, isn't it? Anyway, you get the fucking idea. So yeah, at Fred Asquith on Film on TikTok and Instagram. Popping off, eh? Popping off. And I'm being a bit ironic. The channels are what they are. I enjoy putting the reels out. But what I'm not being ironic about is that the numbers for this poddy are could you describe them as popping off audio-wise on Spotify and Apple Podcasts? I don't know if popping off is maybe an extreme term, but it's certainly doing well. Like, I'm really, 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 really excited about the numbers going up and seeing that, like, building a little bit of a community. And I guess I'm surprised that consistency of posting podcasts really does bear fruit, because I guess it's just so easy to not continue doing poddies. But I'm just really enjoying myself. And I said to my darling wife the other day, like, this just feels like the safe space I've wanted online for so long to talk about my biggest passion, which is film. So yeah, like I say, Spotify, Apple Podcast people, loving it. Thank you so much for that. Make sure you subscribed. And people on YouTube, go have a listen to the audio version. People on the audio version, go have a watch on YouTube. It's where I get my reels from. And I'm sat on a big orange sofa. You know the drill. Okay. Got a weird hair on my microphone there. A blue hair. What the fuck? Oh, it's because I got a clown wig. I'm doing a sketch with a clown wig with a blue hair on it. And the microphone got tangled up in it. So, you may have noticed last week, although you may have not given a shit either way, I'm experimenting with posting on different days. So previously, FOF was always on Mondays, and then last week I posted on Friday. Like I say, no one gives a shit. The world keeps turning. The universe is unbothered by this. But I just want to talk you through why I'm doing that. The reason is because I'm trying to work out, like, what is going to be the best schedule to mean that I can get in the most reviews upon time of release. And, like, now I'm getting invited to preview screenings, and sometimes, fingers crossed in the future as well, premieres, like we had with 28 Years and F1. It means that I'm seeing films, like, before a Friday release, and then also, and so can review it by the Friday. And also, I've noticed a lot of major films are actually being released before the Friday now as well. So, like, F1 was on a Wednesday, or I think it was a Wednesday. 28 Years was was it a Thursday? Mission was on a Wednesday. So they're all doing this kind of, like, long lead opening weekend as an attempt to, like, get a better box office return for that opening weekend figure. So from a just completely punter standpoint, like, I'm also able to just go see films earlier than Friday, and yet it still feels like the done thing to get to get reviews out for the weekend, because I feel like that's when most people are going to go to the cinema. And so last week I had a review for Jurassic Rebirth ready for the Monday, but I was like, why am I not just getting this out on the Friday? Because I'd already recorded it by, like, Thursday, and I was like, oh, I could save some people from going to see this utter crock of shit. So I put it out on the Friday. Felt good. Now, the irony is is that I haven't seen Superman before this Friday release date that I'm planning to release this on Friday. And look, I may have changed my mind in the process of recording this and going upstairs and editing it. But I don't think I am. I think I'm going to release this on Friday still. There was a preview screening for influencers and press of Superman on Tuesday night, Tuesday the 8th. And so if I had gone to that, I would have been able to have a review for you on this episode in time for this release. And that would have been in line with the strategy for the new podcast schedule, right? But not only was I busy and couldn't have gone anywhere, I wasn't fucking invited. So, like, I like to think it was that I was busy, but no one ever asked me if I was busy. Do you know what I mean? And then every other twat's at this fucking screen, and I'm getting pictures from Pulp Kitchen, Benedict Townsend, my mate Zohair. Everyone's at this fucking Superman screening. Did you miss me off the list? Did my name fall into a black hole? What's happened? It's a bit frustrating, but hey, I was busy anyway. But I'm like, okay, I'm going to continue on this road of releasing on Friday and see where it gets me. You know, maybe when we get to like the winter releases, maybe, you know, the Oscar releases, maybe it is better to, I don't know. We'll see. But Friday, and then I won't have a massive review of Superman next week, because by that point, most of you who care about it will have seen it. But I'll let you know what I think. I've got tickets booked on Saturday. Feels nice to. I've got a little date with my darling wife on Saturday. Go to see Superman. Looking forward to that. Look, to be honest, if you want a Superman review anyway, I'm not really the guy to talk to, because I'm not big on superhero movies. There's definitely creators out there who are more informed on this stuff, but I will be seeing it for spectacle and spectacle's sake, and for the cultural conversation. So this week, we've got a few bits to get through, including Social Network 2, Heads of State, which came out on Prime, some thought starters, and also the New York Times 100 Best Movies of the 21st Century. So I think this will be a snappy-ish, fun, conversational episode in the vein of early FOF episodes that I did before this massive glut of summer releases. I was looking back at the first episodes of FOF, and it was like just chatting about this, chatting about that. Here's my opinion on this. Some retrospectives on old films. And then suddenly we had like in a row, we had like, what was it? 28 Years, Jurassic. I'm missing one out. F1. And it just feels like I've been talking about the same three films, and now Superman, for fucking ages. So this is actually a conversational episode. A little sip of my giant Volvic touch of mango passion fruit. So first things first, we've heard that Social Network 2 is now gonna be a thing. The Social Network 2. Or did they drop the? Is that ironic, actually? Because it was always about the Facebook and then Facebook. Did the Social Network drop the? It didn't. Oh, it is called The Social Network. Oh, okay, because I think that maybe is deliberately ironic. Anyway, The Social Network 2. And Aaron Sorkin, who wrote the first movie that was famously directed by David Fincher to massive applause. Aaron Sorkin is writing and directing this second movie. So Aaron Sorkin has gone on to direct his own films. He directed Molly's Game, which I love, and just as it happens, is my darling's favourite movie of all time. Sometimes my darling will be ill, and she'll text me and I'll be out saying, this has happened a few times, saying, oh, I'm ill. And I'll be like, cool. I'll come home and she's watching Molly's Game. And I'm like, what? But you watched this 3 weeks ago. She'll just put Molly's Game on as the cliche comfort blanket. And I do love Molly's Game. And I love it more because she loves it too. But then he went on to do the Trial of the Chicago 7, which absolutely sucked buttholes. So we'll see if Aaron Sorkin has the juice to direct The Social Network 2 in a way that even comes close to The Social Network. But my biggest issue is, okay, so David Fincher isn't returning. Aaron Sorkin isn't what he was at the time, and also isn't what he was without David Fincher. I think we've learned that now. And Jesse Eisenberg isn't yet confirmed to return. So I'm kind of like, I heard the phrase Sequel-Itis. It feels like The Social Network 2 may have Sequel-Itis, which is like one of those sequels that doesn't actually feel spiritually like a sequel. Sometimes it'll be because like key creative players aren't back on board, or key performers aren't back on board, or because it's like just like pissed out by the studio as like a money grab, or and put in the past put straight to DVD, or you know, like where it's like we're just going to make this and we're going to give it a big release, but it actually hasn't ended up as good as we thought, so we're going to put it on as back in the day, straight to DVD or home video, whatever. That's like Sequel-Itis, and so good examples of that would be like The Lion King 2. Like The Lion King is one of the most beloved films of all time, and I don't think people are generally acknowledge that The Lion King 2 even exists. Dirty Dancing 2, Grease 2, Mean Girls 2. I'm pretty sure there's a Mean Girls 2. Yeah, there's just these like sequels that like actually don't feel spiritually like the original, in the same universe or worthy of the same categorization almost. And The Social Network 2 could slip into that, because Aaron Sorkin with the Trial of Chicago 7 that was a straight to Netflix release. So and also Fincher is doing a straight to Netflix release for Once Upon a Time in Hollywood 2. I mean, it's all just the fucking projects going on at the moment are just ridiculous. So this could be straight to Netflix. And crucially, it might not have Jesse Eisenberg as Mark Zuckerberg. And so you're kind of like, is it even a sequel? Like, is it even in the same ballpark, wheelhouse, whatever you want to call it, as The Social Network? And also because the bar of The Social Network is so high, if it doesn't get close to that, which, it's unlikely to, given that most films that great are kind of lightning in a bottle, is it even going to be worthy of, grouping up with that movie, even if it spiritually does feel right? Like, there's just too many, it just feels icky, and I'm just like, on the one hand, I'm like, please get it right, because like Social Network, one of the best movies of the 21st century, which we'll come on to. But then on the other hand, I'm like, I kind of don't give a shit, because if you get it really wrong, I'm happy to just ignore it, like the aforementioned Lion King 2. Just a note on Heads of State. I watched 30 minutes of it. So Heads of State is the new comedy on Prime, starring Idris Elba as the UK Prime Minister and John Cena as the US President. And they have a plane crash and they get dropped in the middle of nowhere, Eastern Europe, I think. And they then have to fight their way out. But as soon as they were dropped, the reason why I say Eastern Europe, I think, is because they were dropped. I saw a vague scene about them fighting their way out of this guy's backyard. And then I pretty much turned it off. And I was like, okay, I kind of get what's going on here. Like, Prime, out of all the leading streamers, they really do shit out some weird movies, don't they? Because they had Deep Cover, which was like this spy thing with Orlando Bloom and Nick Mohammed and Sean Bean and stuff, and I didn't watch it, but like you could just tell by the marketing and the way they pushed it, it's kind of like a tacky release, right? Like what's Prime's plan with Prime original movies? Because I feel like they haven't all been shit, but it feels like Deep Cover followed by Heads of State. There's a clear thread there of like what they're going for. There's been a meeting, hasn't there? There's been a board meeting. Or there's been a strategy meeting of like, oh well, if it looks like if we just shit out some bargain basement crime capers, we get enough viewers to justify the ad revenue or whatever. Like, I'm just like, what's been said there? Because they're just so similar, and for all intents and purposes, or from what I can tell, both similarly bad. Saying that, like, Heads of State, I didn't turn it off because I was like horrendously bored necessarily. I just turned it off because I was like, I get it. It's of no value to me. It was actually like relatively entertaining, and I love Idris Elba, and I think John Cena's like an underrated and possibly underused comedic performer. Like, I think he could have a career akin to Dave Bautista, but in comedy. So Bautista's obviously done some comedy in Guardians of the Galaxy, but he's also got a real good dramatic career. Obviously, just equating the two because of the WWE history. John Cena is a good comedic performer. He is good. Like, he was decent in Argyle. He was decent in Trainwreck. He was decent in Ricky Stenicki. And not, these films are like of varying degrees of goodness, often not that good. And he's generally a shining light in these things. And I liked him in Heads of State as well. And so I just kind of think, I hope similar to Denis Villeneuve picking up Dave Bautista for Blade Runner and then running with him for Dune and things like that. I kind of hope that someone recognises John Cena's potential and gives him a vehicle that's kind of worthy of that, because Heads of State was not that. Didn't even rate it on Letterboxd because I didn't even finish it, but I hope people had fun with it. Which brings me on to kind of couple of semi rants and thought starters. Little sip of my Volvic. Going back to my review of Jurassic Rebirth last week, so I kind of panned Jurassic Rebirth, and like I said at the start of the review, I don't want to pan things. I don't enjoy disliking movies, and I want movies to do well at the box office because then cinemas survive and the movie industry thrives. And it seems like Jurassic Rebirth is doing well. I'm not going to Google it while I'm recording, but I think I get the sense that people liked it more than I did. It's doing well, better than I expected. And on that same point, F1 at the box office is doing incredibly well. This is just the news, the word of mouth. And but I kind of, so I had this kind of, I didn't have a backlash to my review of Jurassic Rebirth. People are, all you listeners are actually really like great in terms of like your comments are always respectful and lovely. Like I'm always into like discussion around films, but not argument around films. It doesn't really matter what X person thought versus what Y person thought. Like we're all just trying to have a chat, right? So the comments are always respectful, but in the sense of a backlash of like a disagreement with my point of view, I would say people are definitely enjoying Jurassic Rebirth more than me. But I kind of had a backlash to the backlash in my head, because I've written down here, we should demand more from our studios. So I've seen people on other reels, because I actually haven't posted reels about Jurassic Rebirth yet at time of recording. But I've seen people on social media arguing in other reels comments about why Jurassic Rebirth didn't suck. And kind of, there's an open debate about it, right? It's up for debate. Did Jurassic Rebirth suck? And I think that's important, and that's kind of the point, really. I'm not saying that Jurassic Rebirth objectively sucked and you can't enjoy it, and if you did enjoy it, then you're dumb. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that, like, by all means, enjoy it, and I'm sure you did enjoy it, but I actually don't think it's good enough that we should have to debate so fervently, like, whether something is good, because there is a genuine debate around whether it's good. Because the reason why there's a genuine debate is because it's not definitely good, right? It's not objectively definitely bad, but it's not objectively definitely good. And yet, it's good enough for people to aggressively debate its goodness in comments. Let me just try and like show you where I'm going with this. So, like, we know that they rushed it out. They had the IP and they rushed out this movie in 18 months. They wrote it, shot it, post-production, slapped a title on it, and expected us not to notice that it was rushed. Whether you enjoyed it or not, it was a rushed movie, and I think there are symptoms of that rushedness in the movie. And the opposite end of the spectrum is F1, which I also didn't like. And again, I don't want to become this, like, spectre of, like, disliking movies. Like, that's not me. Like, I love... I'm even relatively positive about Heads of State, but the context is important, right? Heads of State is put on Prime. It's not being pushed as like a big release, and so fine, it's pretty shit, whatever. F1 and Jurassic Rebirth, they are like beholden to higher standards because they proclaim themselves to be bigger than something like Heads of State. They have the big premieres, they have the big marketing push, the junkets and things like that. And so I didn't really like F1. I thought the script was paint by numbers, and I thought a lot of other aspects were bullshit, which I won't repeat, that you can go back and listen to if you want. That wasn't necessarily rushed. It took them fucking 4 years to make that film. They were filming on F1 tracks for ages. I felt like I couldn't watch F1 without seeing Brad Pitt's kite popping up. And yet, it was still paint by numbers and still bad, in my opinion. So we have a rushed tentpole movie that, in my opinion, was bad. You may have enjoyed it. And then we have a not rushed tentpole movie that you may have enjoyed. I also thought was bad. My point isn't that you can't like these films. My point is that we shouldn't accept this, what in my opinion is bare minimum for blockbuster, large-scale summer Hollywood releases. So, 28 years later, for example, this is kind of one reason why I loved 28 Years Later, was that it was anything but rushed, first of all. It took fucking 15 years, was it, to do another one? Can't do the quick math in my head. And all the creative voices who we respect and who were on the original were in on it. And they have mapped out a narrative plan for a whole trilogy. And they took big swings with it out of a place of love. Like, whether or not you like or agree with the ending of that movie or even other beats in that movie, you can't argue with the fact that it came from a place of love creatively. I don't feel that with Rebirth and F1. You could argue you could with F1 from a different perspective, but I don't. And similarly, like Sinners, right? Sinners is what we should expect from Hollywood blockbusters. Blockbuster is a fluid term now, I guess. Let's just call it a blockbuster. It did bust the blocks or whatever you say. But it was an April release, I guess is my point. Anyway, whatever. Sinners is a creative force doing something that they're passionate about in a way that's creatively authentic to them. And it has creative value, right? And so whether or not you enjoyed Sinners and the mileage you have on whether you think that's going to be a film with longevity or not, I personally think it is. You still can't argue that it's worth making that film. It's worth promoting that film. It is worth an audience's time to at least give it a go, even if it ended up being trash, which it definitely wasn't trash. It's still worth an audience's time to experience what Ryan Coogler wanted to say, in that film. Turns out it was great. Why are we accepting what feels like the bare minimum for Hollywood blockbusters, where we're like, oh no, I've seen comments being like, F1's the best thing since sliced bread. I'm like, but it's not though. It's not. And what got me thinking was this Megan 2.0 release that was last week, where they just stuck a new genre on it, stuck a 2.0 on it, tried to market it and make it TikTok viral like the first film, and it didn't fly, right? And I'm like, these fucking studios, they still act a little bit like they did in the 50s, where it's like, oh, we'll just do another cowboy movie and that'll sell well because people love cowboy movies. It's not that simple anymore. They think that they could. I think we need to have some more agency in the criticism of movies and expect more and demand more, even if it doesn't always happen. So the Greta Gerwigs and the Ryan Cooglers and the Christopher Nolans of this world, they're giving us creatively valuable movies, even if you don't like every single one, whatever, right? They think that they can put Brad Pitt in an F1 car, fire him round a track and make him say shit dialogue and, let's be honest, perform it quite shitly as well. His performance in that film is not great. It's very talky, very reedy, like we discussed on the episode. And that you'll be happy with that. They think they can do that. And what bothers me is that they kind of can. Because they've done that, in my opinion, released a low quality movie, and everyone's having a big argument about why it's great. The lady doth protest too much, methinks. Quoting Shakespeare on Foff. Here we fucking go. I'm just it isn't about arguing whether something is good or not. As soon as you get to that point, the film has failed. Hollywood has failed. What it should be about for me is this creatively valuable? Is this worth my time to at least try and understand what the filmmaker was trying to do here? Do you get my point? I don't think F1 did the business, in my opinion, in terms of that script. I thought the script was pants, okay? Jurassic Rebirth is a much better example because you could talk about the production value of the filming they did on the track and things like that. So let's talk about Jurassic Rebirth. They rush it out in 18 months. They slap the title on it. They expect you to be okay with half-drawn characters in a half-drawn iteration of the Jurassic universe battling half-drawn dinosaurs with half-baked ideas, and they just put Scarlett Johansson in it, put Jonathan Bailey in it, and like they expect to make loads of money, and they will make loads of money. That bothers me. It's like, it's not enough. It's not, we shouldn't be in comment sections arguing about whether it's good enough. It's not enough. Even by debating that, it's not enough. We need to be demanding more from the studios. Like, if you want to do a Jurassic movie and you want to pull at our heartstrings and like do scenes that are directly drawing from the original, that is one of the greatest films ever made, and you want to have the privilege to iterate on that IP, put some fucking effort in, right? And I look at these comment sections of like people, like I say, arguing about the quality of a film like Jurassic Rebirth, and I feel sorry for Joe Blogs in the comments wanting to love Rebirth. I feel sorry for him because I'm like, turn that WhatsApp off, because I'm like, you deserve better, Joe Blogs. Like, you don't have to fight the fight. You don't have to fight this fight. You don't have to defend this film. You deserve better films than this. You don't have to say things like, oh, well, you know, I had a good time and switched my brain off and it is what it is and blah, 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 blah. Like, these types of movies can be done well, and you're accepting less. And the movie industry and the culture of movie audiences is way too reliant on this kind of like, well, I switched my brain off and I just enjoyed myself kind of thing. That shouldn't be what we are okay with. Well, just, you know, like that Fast and Furious syndrome of like, oh, just fucking, you know, give it a go and, you know, a great night on the movies. No, we should expect more. So I wrote a little list. Like, this can be done well. I mean, the original Jurassic Park, for the best fucking example. Any Spielberg blockbuster. You know, fucking going back to fucking Jaws. Like, you can do major studio movies in a way that is intelligent. And the reason why I hesitated, because I don't want to call Spielberg films dumb, because they're not. But I want to come on and say, you can even make successful blockbuster movies that are intelligent and good and dumb. They're intelligent in their dumbness. So I'm not saying that every blockbuster tentpole release has to be cerebral, like this fucking puzzle, like a Chris Nolan movie or whatever. That's absolutely not what I'm saying. I love dumb movies, but you can make good, intelligently made, dumb movies, and that's what we should expect. So, Skyfall, for example. Skyfall is dumb. It's so dumb. Have you seen the plot in the second half of that movie? What? He's in the fucking glass chamber, but then he's like orchestrating different tubes crashing into each other, and apparently he knew this was going to happen. It's just ridiculous. That entire film is ridiculous, but it's fucking fantastic. It's an intelligently made dumb movie. A dumb movie made with love. Right? And that is, in my opinion, what F1 and Jurassic Rebirth isn't. Another example, The Dark Knight. I know we said we don't have to have cerebral Nolan movies, but this is a Nolan movie. Again, the second half or the final third of that movie, notoriously, is fucking ridiculous. You have this like standoff of the bomb on the two ships, and you have the bomb with Maggie Gyllenhaal and with, I can't remember who else is tied up. Is it Harvey Dent? And Batman has to choose who to save, and it's fucking bullshit. It's so dumb. And yet, it's a film made with love, and it's a dumb film made intelligently. Endgame, right? Maybe the best example. These are all films that made over $1 billion, by the way, worldwide. Jurassic Park aside, sorry. Skyfall, Dark Knight, Endgame. Endgame is fantastic. It's based upon essentially dumbness. Like the series is dumb. It's dumb fun. And when I say dumb, by the way, I don't mean bad. Dumb is good. Dumb is fun. Dumb is what people are arguing Rebirth had. Dumb fun. F1, dumb fun. But like, intelligently made dumb fun is a nuance that I'm trying to tap into here in this rant. Endgame, great example. Like that, it's 3 hours. It's fucking bullshit. It's ridiculous. You can pick plot holes in it, whatever. But it's fantastic. Top Gun Maverick is a fantastic example because that's the spiritual precursor to F1, right? Same director, same producer, same vibe, same kind of premise in a way, and to a certain extent the same beats in the screenplay, and it is equally dumb and yet so well done and made with love, and you can feel that with every Tom Cruise action movie. It's always made with love, care, and attention. I don't think Brad Pitt was given that in F1, put it that way. And so Top Gun Maverick. And then finally, another kind of legacy example similar to Jurassic Park, Terminator 2. If you rewatch Terminator 2, it is actually super dumb. It's so fucking stupid. But it's fucking fantastic. It's so good. So I'm not saying we have to reach the heights of, I don't know, $1 billion movie like Oppenheimer, or I don't even know if Dune did make $1 billion, but Dune, even Barbie, something that's like ridiculously intelligent and not dumb fun. Am I making sense? We should at least just aim to have well-made dumb fun. Like dumb fun made with love. I'm going to stop repeating myself now, but I just think we should expect more. And I'm sad to see those comments about Rebirth. I just want people to want more than that. It's not good enough. Because they're going to do another one. They're going to do another one. Speaking of Rebirth, quick sip of my Volvic. Speaking of Rebirth, I saw a lot of kind of jokes online about how much product placement is in Rebirth. And also there's a lot of product placement in F1 because it's a sporting movie. They sponsored this fake team and whatever. And I've seen a lot about this recently, and I realized product placement doesn't bother me at all. It never has, really. I think the one time I noticed product placement in a way that did bother me was in the film. This is quite a specific one. In the film I, Robot, when Will Smith, someone asks Will Smith about his shoes, and it's set in the future, right? And he points at them and he goes, "Vintage Converse, 2005 or whatever," which I think is when the film was made. And everyone in the cinema laughed because it was just the most blatant product placement ever. In F1, there's fucking Ninja air fryers everywhere. There's, ExxonMobil or whatever. There's something going on. And then in Jurassic Rebirth, there's like Lay's crisps and shit. There's just like product placement everywhere. And I've seen people ranting about this. It actually in general doesn't bother me. Like I say, if you point it out, like in iRobot, and you like mention it, then it bothers me. But it really doesn't. If you put a product in a film, to me, that's just like, it exists in the world because it exists in the world. Like, especially not in Bond films and stuff. Like, it's par for the course. Like, he's got the watch on, he's got the car, he's drinking the Heineken or the whatever he's drinking. Like, I don't give a shit. Like, if you bake that into the scene or the world of the movie well enough, to me, it almost like legitimizes the real worldness of it all. If you do it well enough, I'm just like, oh yeah, cool. They're eating Lay's crisps. I don't give a shit. I just really don't care. And I'm the same with social media. Like, as a creator who does ads online, I'm the same like vibe of like, I don't care if I see a creator doing ad. Like, I guess I'm biased because I do it too, but I've never understood the anger about being advertised to. It doesn't bother me. Like, you can skip these things on podcasts or on TikTok, or you can it's just part of the film. Like, it's the whole world is advertisement. We're constantly being advertised to. Like, I've got a van parked outside my house right now. I can see through the window. It's a builder's trades van, and it's got his website on it and his brand name and stuff. Like, we're all, we're being advertised to on the streets and on trains and buses and fucking everything you look at. Like, everything you look at. Every time you go online, I've got this Volvic bottle here. Like, why do products make their branding really clear? So when you go to the shop, everything is advertisement. And I just don't see a problem with advertisement in day-to-day life. Like, I'm advertising this podcast. I try and post about it. We're all trying to market ourselves in different ways, whether it's in a job interview trying to get a job or putting a big poster up on Hollywood Boulevard. Like, everything is marketing. And I just don't mind that. And so I guess I'd wondered if anyone had any thoughts on that. Final bit on the New York Times top 100 movies as rated, as kind of ranked, by 500 leading filmmakers and creatives in Hollywood. They actually did a separate list, which was it was top 100 movies of the 21st century, I should say. And they did a separate list, which was top 500 movies of the 21st century, as voted for by the audience and public at large. I prefer looking at the top 100 from the Hollywood execs and the creatives and the directors and whatnot, because I quite like informed lists, like the Sight and Sound list that they refresh every 7 years or whatever it is, and when it comes to like music lists, best albums, things like that, I quite like lists from people who exist in that industry, because I feel like if you could ever qualify someone to list something definitively, it would either be the best case scenario would be everyone, right? Everyone, every single person in the world, which IMDb maybe comes close to, but not really. Letterboxd definitely doesn't, because that's like a niche audience, which I love, I'm part of, but it is niche. You could never poll everybody, right? And so then who do we poll? Okay, we poll people who are informed and they're in the business and they understand the creative aspects of this medium. And so I prefer the top 100 New York Times best movies of the 21st century. Just to give you a kind of idea. So we had from 1 to 10, we had Parasite, Mulholland Drive, There Will Be Blood, what's this? In the Mood for Love, Moonlight, No Country for Old Men, Eternal Sunshine, Get Out at number 8, Spirited Away, and Social Network at number 10. The Social Network. And so, yeah, pretty solid top 10. Like, I'm also, going back to arguing in the comments about this and that, I'm also not one to argue about lists necessarily, because, like, everything is subjective. It's just fun to discuss. So, Parasite 1, it is an unbelievable film. My number 1 would be There Will Be Blood, which is number 3. Anyway, without just kind of listing movies, I also just wanted to tell you, so I on Letterboxd, it's got this really good feature where you can kind of sort by your rating. So I found the list on Letterboxd. I've sorted by your rating. And of the top 100 picked by the 500 most influential people in Hollywood, this would be my top 10. You ready? Based on my ratings. There Will Be Blood, number 1. Lost in Translation, number 2. Before Sunset, number 3. Whiplash, number 4. Interstellar, number 5. Gladiator, number 6. Number 7, Worst Person in the World. Fucking love that film, and I can't wait for Sentimental Value, which is their follow-up coming out this year. Social Network, number 8. Zodiac, number 9. Two Finchers next to each other there. And Grand Budapest Hotel, number 10. Pretty fair top 10. I agree with myself. And I also just wanted to call out a few films that weren't in the best 100 movies of the 21st century that I think should be, because there are certain movies that weren't considered like 5-star masterpieces upon release, but over time have actually been seen to like have a lot of like influence and longevity way above that station that they had at release. Two best examples for me are Mean Girls and School of Rock. Like, I don't really think that's pushing the boat out too much. Given in this list we have like Royal Tenenbaums, Borat, we've got Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. I don't know how the fuck that's got in there. It's just not worthy of being in there. I'm sorry, everyone. I just don't like it. We've got some like silly movies in this. Superbad is a great example at number 100. I think Mean Girls and School of Rock are just like massively influential, massive longevity, and massively loved. I think they could have had a shout. I can't see Catch Me If You Can in there, but I'd be surprised if it wasn't. I saw Minority Report in there. But anyway, Catch Me If You Can for me would be definitely in there. Sideways, one of my favourite movies, the Paul Giamatti, Alexander Payne rom-com me kind of thing. I'm surprised that's not in there. This Is England. I'm surprised that's not in there. Shane Meadows obviously led to some TV series which some consider to be better. Castaway. I think Castaway should be in there. And also, I can't spot Casino Royale or Skyfall in there. I might be wrong about that. Okay, The reason why I say I might be wrong is because I'm actually so surprised that they're not in there that I actually don't believe that they're not in there. Like, I kind of feel like I'm missing them. Like, I can't see them somewhere. But Casino Royale or Skyfall needs to be in these 100 best movies of the 21st century. If this is a list, which it is, with, like I say, Borat in it, we're being pretty open about this. We're being pretty, like, wide-ranging commercial Hollywood about this. Like, let's get one of those two in my opinion. Anyway, I'm actually dying for a piss. Like, dying for a piss. And I could just pause the recording and go and come back, but I'm actually done. So, thanks for listening to @FredAsquith on Film on Instagram and TikTok. And, go listen to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and I'm also on YouTube. Like I say, the numbers are going up and I'm really, really loving it. So thanks for listening. I will see you next time. Ta-ra, ta-ra. Oh, let me know what you think about the release dates, by the way, if you think Friday, Monday. I guess it's not really your call, is it? But anyway, see you later. Bye.